Good afternoon. We've got my friend, John, with us this afternoon, and I think John has had a very interesting life so far. One or two of the things that John can tell us about was his time going through the Belfast Blitz, and I'm interested in wartime. And also, John worked in the Belfast Shipyards. How many years, John, were you in the shipyard?
I served my time, so that was 5 years,
Right.
and I would say I was, I'm sure, 20 years maybe.
So 25 years,
25
in the shipyard.
In the shipyard, yeah.
Right, right.
That's right, yeah.
Right, but we'll go back to square one. We'll go
Okay.
back to square one. Can I tell the folks, or you tell the folks, how old you were, or how old you are,
Right.
and when were you born?
Okay. Yes, I was born in the capital of Belfast,
Right,
which is Ballymacarrett.
Ballymacarrett. Now, for those of us who aren't too sure, Ballymacarrett, give us a street
It's
name.
mainly the Newtownards road,
Right,
and the main thoroughfare off the Newtownards road to identify it would be Templemore Avenue.
so down at Templemore.
And I was born on a street called McMaster Street,
Right,
which is in the centre of Ballymacarrett, number 18 McMaster Street.
is it still there?
Still there.
The actual house?
The actual house
The
is
actual
still there,
house.
and it has been refurbished. And I was down in a stop. I asked the lady if she could help me to go around.
Did she let you?
And she did. She did indeed. And
Who's this old boy coming to check out my house?
after a lifetime, say to us, right there, the memories of Springs back are so clear
Right.
in my mind as a boy.
And were you? What was the date, John,
The date
of your birth?
1934.
1934. Were you born in the house, or were you?
I was born in the house.
Were you?
My mother.
In the front or back room?
That would have been the front room. There only was 2 rooms.
And the midwife came. Midwife.
I would think so. Yes. I don't remember it.
Right,
but
right, okay.
I would think so because she'd been frequently there. For my mother. My mother bore 8 children,
Right.
7 girls, and 1 boy.
But it was only a 2-bedroom house, John.
It
So
was.
where did you all sleep?
Oh dear. Well, there was two of the girls died in infancy,
Right,
so that was still 5 left,
right.
and so that was 6 of us. With parents, that was 8 of us in a 2-bedroom house.
That was tight fit.
It was.
Right, okay, you married somehow anyway.
Oh, God, we got by, surely.
And what was your father?
My father was an odd trade. He was a brass moulder.
A brass what?
Brass moulder.
Right.
He moulded instead of you hear of an iron moulder. Instead of iron, he shaped things in brass. The big used to call them screws. That's the propellers.
Yes.
On those big ships.
So he was a yard man as well.
He was in on casting those, and I can still picture the workshop he worked in. It was there's so much sand and dirt and everything floating about. But that's just where they poured the molten metal
Right.
into the moulds. My dad would have made a mould
Right, I
and
understand.
poured it into it. So.
And was your mother? She was the homemaker, or
She
did
was
she
a
go into
homemaker.
work?
I don't ever remember her having a job as such, working there, because she had enough on her hands with us in McMaster Street, you know. So
Was it a happy childhood?
Oh, it was, and the only thing I'd keep people saying was that seeing there's so many girls. I was 10 years of age before I was out of a dress.
Because you're hand-me-downs.
The hand-me-downs.
Very good, very good. Right, but there was before we get to your schooling, that was 1934 you were born.
1934.
So whenever the war broke out, you were 6. No, 5.
5.
You were 5 in 1939. So you were. How did the Blitz happened? So and you were evacuated.
I was evacuated to Sam and James' house, a brother and sister in Killinure Road, Carryduff. He had a farm there, and that was an experience. It was a thrill. I can still picture it as a boy, the freedom of animals. And
did your sisters come too?
Everybody came. It was a wee outhouse on the property, and we made it into our home. And I can vividly remember going to the country school in those days, and it was a lovely time. It was. I can remember it.
And did you see your parents maybe once a week or something?
No, my parents were down. They moved down with us.
Oh, they came too?
They came too.
So the house was left empty?
The whole family, the house was empty in McMaster Street. The whole family came down to Killinure Road, Carryduff. And I don't know how many years we were there, but I was certainly around about the restricted times of the war and whatnot.
So you're saying that you were evacuated for a number of years up there.
I was,
that's quite a lengthy time. And so you got used to seeing cows in the field and all this, because this would have been, you wouldn't have seen anything like this as a young lad.
No, the only thing you ever saw here was when I lived in McMaster Street at number 18. In number 20 there was a family called Dunlop, and one of the boys, the oldest one, a real rough character he was, he was a carrier, and he had a horse and cart, and managed to tame the big horse was standing outside our door, for hours on end, but he was in having a meal, and it was a Dunlop family, so...
Right. And so, did you actually, you saw, you were running around, before you were evacuated, you were running around and you saw soldiers about the place, would you have?
You did, and you saw some buildings which had been bombed, during the Blitz.
So were you evacuated after the Blitz, or
just at the tail end of the Blitz? Just at the tail end.
So you were in your house the night, the 2 or 3 nights, I think it was, that the German bombers came over.
That's right. I was, and I can still remember. we used to call it the coal hole.
The coal hole.
It was a wee underneath the stairs, and just a terrace house, but underneath the stairs, and we all sat in there. Right. But no wonder I suffered claustrophobia every day, because it was right claustrophobic. But that's where we sat while the bombs were falling. And my dad, he used to be in the, I don't know if it was the ARP or it was a form of civil defence.
Yes.
He had, I still remember, he had a stirrup pump for putting it in incendiary fires, you know. That's right.
Oh my goodness gracious. So, you see, I didn't know any of this, and this is actually fascinating to be talking to somebody who's actually going through the Blitz, and you would have been wide awake those particular nights.
I would, yes, and I can still recall them. I can't, and I must have been very young.
And you living down in McMaster Street, and Newtownards Road, there must have been houses close by that were blown to bits.
There were 2 massive landmines, one on either side of us, that wiped out complete streets, and we were spared. We weren't touched, other than the incendiary bombs. But there were 2 landmines, we called them.
Yes.
And I can remember seeing the big crater left.
The bomb site?
Of the bombers.
And that would have been, what, a few yards away from your home?
That would have been, as I say, when we were going for those trees there, it would be
right. So 50 yards away from,
That's right, yeah.
from your home.
I do remember those, and if one of those had a land at McMaster Street, I just wouldn't be here today. Well, I would not.
No, that's and I'm sure the people, you know, you heard the ambulances, you heard the fire engines, you looked out the windows probably and saw the flames and all the rest of it.
I remember, yes sir, I remember the next day after, a big blitz going up the top of the road, on the main road, and going down to where they landed, and you know, it was just devastation. Indeed, you know.
So you would have seen, were there any, you'd have seen bombers and fighter planes going over?
Certainly, I don't know, I'm not too sure what I saw, but you could hear them. And you knew the thud of them and the drone of them. Oh, those are Germans. And you knew the sound. And what they were aiming for was the shipyard.
They were after the shipyard?
Mm-hmm. They were after the shipyard. And then they fell short there just as, like, we weren't all that far from the shipyard. And that's where they dropped a lot of their bombs as well. You know, so there was quite a lot of fatalities in East Belfast. It was.
Yeah.
And we've moved position. It's a wee bit of a blowy day. It's a bit cool. Autumn's right with us. But John is an avid gardener, so that's why I've actually taken you. He's 84 and he's in the garden for 2 or 3 hours every day, and he's quite a fit man here. Not too many fit 84-year-olds knocking about. But John, you're coming away from the Blitz and the bombs and all that, those reflections. Your primary school, where did you go to primary school?
The primary school was now, it's remarkable, there's a building on the Newtownards Road, the junction of the Newtownards Road and the Albert Bridge Road. It is now called the Constitutional Club.
The Constitutional Club.
And it was known as New Road School.
New Road School.
And I can remember there was only 2 classrooms, and there was 4 groups, one in each corner.
Right.
And I can remember that. And I can remember there must have been some of the teachers Australian, because one of our features was we used to march around this room singing Waltzing Matilda. And I can remember that as playing Waltzing Matilda.
Oh, right.
And that was New Road School. And then it wasn't all that long, and then it closed.
Right.
And I was shifted to Beachfield. It was a primary school in off Templemore Avenue, Beachfield.
Right.
And then when you come up to a certain age level, we went into, I keep my family going by calling it the Templemore Academy.
Right.
It was a Templemore Avenue.
Where the swimming bars are?
Where the swimming bars are.
That was actually a school?
That was there was a big school there. In fact, it's still there.
It's still there, just across
the other side of the road.
Across the road from the
That's all
bars.
there, and it's used as offices. But it was there, and I finished up. I keep my son Peter, who was head boy in Grosvenor. I keep him going. Saying not only was I head boy, I was the first head boy ever in Templemore Avenue School.
Right. So you.
And I think I was the biggest rascal in the school. So that was the Templemore School, and then the height of your expectations were if your dad could scrape a fiver together,
Right.
he took you down to the shipyard, and you either became a joiner, a fitter, electrician, or a sheet metal worker. That's the choice you had.
Right.
And I choose to be an electrician.